Special welcome to another podcast. I am excited to be joined by Sandi, all the way from Cape Town, South Africa. Sandi, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Sarah. I'm very excited to be here. A little bit out of my comfort zone, but thrilled to be with you on your show. And I find you truly inspirational.
Thank you, Sandi, for that kind feedback. As we start our conversation, Sandi, I would like you to just introduce yourself. Tell us who you are and the career journey that you have walked to get to where you are. I was truly inspired by your story of pivoting a career into the technology industry late in your life. And I find that very, very inspirational. So, indulge us. Tell us who you are and the career journey that you've walked.
Thank you, Sarah. I'm a young 51-year-old. I used to think 50 or over 50 was old. Since arriving at the age of 51, I don't think I'm so old anymore. My kids may not agree, but I certainly don't think I'm old. I've done a lot of different things in my career. I started off as a young lady in the hospitality industry. I went to hotel school. I worked overseas for a short while. And for me, it was a dynamic environment, but I needed something a little bit different. So I then started a company. It was a promotions company, and it was basically a one-man band. And I built it up from scratch, and it lasted for 14 years. And it taught me a whole range of things from client experience to vendor experience to dealing with people, financials, tax responsibilities. And, I made reasonable amounts of money that, set me up. So I would never say that I regretted my decision. But it got lonely towards the end. I was tired of working on my own. I wanted more. I needed more people around me, like-minded team players. So I joined a apparel and footwear company in the sporting industry. I'm crazy about sports. I'm very active myself, and I do all sorts of crazy things. I keep myself young and fit and healthy. So when I joined this company, it was wonderful. I had a fantastic 6 years. I was a corporate accounts manager, so to speak, and I really just dealt with some amazing people and enjoyed my time with them. Unfortunately, the company from the US restructured the South African company, and there were a couple of changes which then sent me on my merry way. I then joined a nonprofit organization, and I worked in early childhood development. And at that time, my eldest daughter, who is now 23, got very ill. So I found myself being distracted at work and not able to completely fulfill my role, as I was obviously very concerned about her health. And I spent a large portion of my time researching, trying to figure out, what was going on with her and, just really trying to keep her alive. So I stopped working for a period of time to focus on my family and to focus on healing her. And, just try to find some answers. At that time, we then decided to move from Johannesburg to Cape Town, which we did. And my husband started a new technology company. So we agreed that as a family, I would keep the fort, hold the fort, make sure that, my daughter was improving, staying alive. And her sisters were at school. So I held the fort at home, and my husband focused on a new company, which we then did for a number of years. My daughter matriculated, and she's already finished her LLB at an overseas university. So she's done incredibly well despite the challenges that she faced. And my husband's company grew from strength to strength, and we pretty much decided that I have something to offer. So instead of going to work for another company, why don't I start working in Smart Crypto? Which I duly did, and I picked up the marketing and advertising for the company, and I was working on a part-time basis. We then realized that I needed more time in the office. I couldn't fully understand the technology aspects of the business with only 3 days a week in the office, and I needed to invest more time. So I then started working full-time, and I've gone from not only a marketing role, but to an account manager role, a new business development role within the company. And I'm loving it. The technology space is intriguing. It is different to anything I've ever experienced. And I'm happy to say that I'm learning all the time.
Beautiful, beautiful, and well done. I'm just so proud of the way you've just taken on, a new career in a new industry. That speaks to your resilience and agility, which a lot of women have, and that's what we have in our favor. Um, can you just tell us a little bit more about what your company is involved with? What kind of solutions do you bring to the market?
Smart Crypto is a technology company, and we often get confused with a cryptocurrency company because crypto is synonymous with cryptocurrency, and the majority of people don't know what cryptography is, but they understand what cryptocurrency is. Basically, cryptography is algorithms, and it is the technology that underpins cryptocurrencies. So your blockchain technology, for instance. We have a company, self-developed crypto framework, which is a golden thread of how, particularly an enterprise organization, should structure their architecture such that you are in a zero trust environment and that you are A, fully compliant, and B, fully resilient. We have different tech products that fit into this crypto framework, and they are quite complicated, but a very brief overview is the foundation of trust is your HSM, which is your hardware security module. And that holds all the trust. It holds your secrets. It holds keys. So the mantra of our company is trust no one, verify everything. From a signature to a data policy to your HSM, that is the mantra of the company. We focus on solutions like public key infrastructure, data protection, signing solutions, key management solutions. So it's a very detailed and a very interesting space. It's not a cybersecurity per se. It's not a perimeter security. It's basically the nitty-gritty and the nuts and bolts of your infrastructure. And if done correctly, with this golden thread, you will never, ever be a recipient of a ransomware attack. That is how secure this crypto framework is.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And just to bring more understanding, just talk to us about the kind of clients that really use this kind of facility. Who would be your target market, or what kind of clients do you sort of target?
The majority of our clients are enterprise customers, and mostly in the BFSI, banking financial sector. The reason for that is that there's a lot more regulatory and compliance requirements in those industries that dictate ISO standards, they dictate cybersecurity standards. So companies, and besides the very nature of the sensitive information that they are using, those kinds of companies are more prone to our solutions because of compliance and regulation. It's also companies that have huge amounts of sensitive data constantly moving. We work in healthcare, retail, insurance industry, as I mentioned, banking, and I think I've left one out, but basically those are the verticals that we work in. Anybody who works with data, anybody who moves data, anybody who has payment data, all of your credit card transactions, there's payment data associated to that. So any of those industries that need all of that security around it.
Beautiful. Security is more important now than ever, right? Because, so much of our lives, so much of business has actually gone online. And I think there's more vulnerability now than ever. And I think people are more conscious about just protecting their environment.
And
Yeah.
to the cloud, there's data flowing all over the place. Business needs that data to access, to interpret, to make business decisions. So it is critical that that data is protected. Not only is it a regulation, but you're dealing with people-sensitive information.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And absolutely agreed. Let's now talk about, just the experience that you have had so far in the industry. You've recently joined the industry, and you seem to have just taken onto it like a duck takes onto water. You seem to just be upselling yourself. What has been your experience, with this whole change of career into a career that is totally new for you?
For myself, I have loved the environment. I find it dynamic. I find it super interesting, very technical. I do find that people in the industry are very stressed. They're burdened with large volumes of work. And I find the knowledge gap is in existence. There's certainly an opportunity for more knowledge, in this field. I do find people overburdened though, and I feel that a lot of the time they're just treading water. A lot of decisions and security decisions are often made retroactively or retrospectively. Once something has happened, we have to mitigate the damage. Just because they're busy in business and not able to actually, or don't have the time to strategize a full solution and act proactively. So I think people are very stressed in this environment, and there's large workloads. Hence me struggling to connect with a lot of top-level people to make decisions. I don't find it an easy task. I find it a challenging task. But that's where resilience comes in, and tenacity, and constantly trying to get the right message out.
Absolutely, absolutely. So then, what would you like to see change in the industry that you're in?
I certainly would like to see a lot more education from the bottom level up. I think there are lots of accreditations, there's lots of courses, there is certainly lots of learning to be done. And I think everybody should be embarking on some form of, even if it's just personal learning. I think the education aspect of this industry, as it is so dynamic and it is so fast moving and changing, is essential. That everybody needs to be more, I won't say more tech literate, but just needs to constantly be educating themselves.
You are so right, and I am absolutely aligned with that viewpoint. It's because of that knowledge gap that exists in the market. Uh, that's one of the reasons that led me to create this platform where we bring technology oriented conversations and leadership to teach the market, because the amount of lack of knowledge that exists is shocking, and yet at the same time we are expecting people that have no understanding how technology works, or people who feel intimidated to actually make decisions, on technology solutions. So yeah, you're right. There's need for people to give themselves to a lot of learning. Even if you're not a technology person, for as long as you're a person, who's in the workforce, because the future really is going to be driven by machines, by digital solutions that are going to be doing so much, as we are already seeing. In fact, I read a book by one of the professors from Harvard University that has written on developing a digital mindset. And her proposal and argument is that every business leader must have a knowledge of technology in some form or shape. And she says you need to have at least 30% understanding of how technology works. So that's actually quite a big challenge. And that's the same challenge that you're bringing, that people need to educate themselves, need to learn. And now more than ever, the opportunities to learn are so readily available. There's so many free courses, there's so many webinars, there's so many conferences that you can even attend from the comfort of your home online. YouTube is another big place where you can learn so much and equip yourself.
As a main focus of our business, we spend a lot of time trying to educate and teach technology teams within companies. So when we do a presentation, we like the entire technology team to actually participate and to hear about cryptography, as it's not a subject that everybody talks about. It is it is different to cybersecurity, and I do feel, and I have empathy for leaders in this space where they've come from potentially a business background and thrown into technology as an enabler for business, and they have all the business skills, but the technology is, certainly for a person like me, is a challenge. It's not an easy thing to learn or to grasp if you don't come from that background. So education is definitely, for me, and of course I feel more strongly about educating women even.
Yeah, absolutely. So talking of women, what advice would you have for them who wish to build a career in the tech industry? Do you have any advice for them?
Even on the back of my previous point, and it's education, it's self-development. And what I have learned in my young life is that you can't sit and wait for it to happen, to be brought to you. You have to be inquisitive. You have to be curious. You have to go out and look for for whatever it is that you personally want. Curiosity and inquisitiveness, I think, are 21st century skills. And if you have those skills, you will certainly excel at whatever subject matter you choose. You never have to be an expert. You just have to be interested sufficiently to go looking for answers that make sense to you. And I think that has been possibly one of my successes in being able to pivot into this industry, is sitting last year through many webinars, through many conferences, just trying to pick up pieces of information so that it makes sense to me. So, I'm not a proficient in the technical speak of our business. That is definitely left to our technology and our technical teams. And I'm still learning. Every day I learn something new. And I have to say, I'm pretty proud of myself that I've been able to get to this point and get excited to wake up in the morning to learn something new. So for girls, for anybody, definitely that would be it. It would be education, curiosity, and inquisitiveness. Actually, I have one more thing to add to that.
Yes, go for it.
Definitely. And for me, it's vitally important. I think every girl needs a mentor. Every girl needs somebody, to be another mother, but in a business environment, to hold her hand, to guide her, to give advice. She doesn't have to be that mentor for the rest of her life, but certainly for that stage of her career, whatever it is. That, I think, is critical to young women.
That's a very good point. Mentorship, cannot be underestimated. It's such a powerful tool of empowering and equipping other people. But like you're saying, more also for women, because we've got very few women in the industry. So yeah, we need people to step up and offer mentorship opportunities to young women. I mean, even to women who are just coming in the industry, just so that we can have retention as well, because the women come in the industry and because they don't feel supported, they just leave. It's for that reason that we're not seeing more and more women on the top in the technology industry. So yes, your point of mentorship really is such a good point. And I think every leader needs to be deliberate about being able to mentor someone and add value to somebody's life. I really love that point. Yeah.
I've embarked on a mentee program this year where I am the mentee. Who would think at 51 you need to be a mentee?
Yeah.
I think I need to be a mentee. So once I've completed my mentee program this year, then next year I'm going to sign up for the mentor program so that I can give back and hopefully make a difference to somebody else's life. And the chain of command continues, right? So if I do that, then the next person will hopefully do that. And this is how we get to grow women supporting women.
Absolutely. It's all about paying forward. Hey, pay
Absolutely.
it forward. Yeah. So I would also just want to understand or hear from you what your aspirations are. You've just entered the industry, you seem to be loving it, you're so given to growing in the industry. What are your aspirations?
Sales. Excuse me. Sales. I cannot wait for the time where I have set up the customer and I have set up the sales pipeline and I have closed the entire deal. And not just one of them, 10 of them. So that for me is my aspiration. Currently, I set up the pipelines, I guide the process, I look for the clients, I'm nurturing the process. But I think I will I will be able to say that I have arrived when I have closed 10 of those deals all on my own. from start to finish. I think that will be my success value. And I'm excited.
Beautiful. I am excited for you, and you will get there. It's a journey of growth. It's a journey
Absolutely.
of growth. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah. Oh, well, it's been so wonderful just engaging and chatting to you, Sandy. As we start bringing the conversation to an end, one of the things that I am quite big on is to elevate the conversation of the uh, uh, work-life balance, more also for women, but actually not just for women, for everybody.
Mm.
Uh, the COVID-19, post COVID-19, it has shown us how people actually put value on family, and the workplace, for the most part, ignored that side of things. They just wanted a worker or an employee to show up and deliver, and that's it. But the great resignation has shown us that people are actually looking for balance. Yes, they want to show up at work, they want to deliver, but they also want the workplace to recognize that, they are family beings. Some of them are parents, some of them are wives, and those roles do matter and they do impact one's work life. What is your viewpoint when it comes to work uh, um, work life balance? Do you have any views on that?
Absolutely. So if you can picture a scale, it very seldom stands still. It's always weighing one side more than the other side. And it generally doesn't only ever weigh to one side. It moves. So my version of a balancing act, and I do it on a daily basis, is that when you have the opportunity, one side will get more attention and one side will get less, because that is the nature of what the need is. The next day might be slightly different. The need is more pushing to the right, and the right is going, I need more attention, be it your family, they need more attention. And you have to be able to say, I proved myself in my work yesterday, I gave my work my attention yesterday, today this needs my attention. And I think as a woman, if you have that commitment pretty much to everything, it is a commitment to everything, is it? It's a commitment to your family, it's a commitment to your workplace, that I give my best most of the time. Everybody's allowed to fail every now and then, but that I give my best most of the time, such that when the other side needs me more, I have that ability and that flexibility to step back and move into my other role, and vice versa when it comes back to work. Less family needs me, more demand on the work. And that has worked for me. I do give of myself a huge amount, such that the only time that I have to spend on myself is 5:30 to 6:30 in the morning. That is when I do my thing. I exercise, so that by the time my children wake up in the morning, I have attention on them. They go to school, I have my attention on my work. And, the balance swings later in the afternoon. But certainly paying attention to your job, giving your utmost, certainly is a good foundation for being able to balance the scales. And it has worked for me, I have to say.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And thank you for just bringing that personal perspective as well. And so you've got to find something that works for you, right? So I like your idea of waking up very early, so you can do your thing, whether it's exercise or, for people that, pray or meditate, that's your me time. So when, the kids wake up and activities start, you've had your me time. I really, really love that concept.
I think it's the reason that everybody's happy around me, because I've taken my time. And then
Yeah.
I'm able to give my time to everybody else. And
Mm.
a working mom, you have to be able to juggle that. You know, by the end of the
Absolutely.
week, we're all tired and we all a bit rang out. Everybody is busy. But just maintaining that level of inner focus is certainly a very important goal to achieve.
Absolutely agreed. Oh, well, it's been exciting being in conversation with you. As we bring this conversation to an end, do you have any parting shots that you'd love to leave our listeners with?
Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. And it's okay to be a chameleon.
Wonderful, wonderful. And on that note, thank you so much, Cindy. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, Sarah. And yeah, good luck with your future podcasts.
Thank you.
All the best.